Welcome to my Wuthering Waves Danjin Build guide for her best echoes and weapon choices. Let's start off with Danjin's best echoes and sets. So, best set effect is the 5 Havoc set effect. Main echo slot, you want to run Crownless or Dreamless, no exceptions for this set. Really depends on your preference, both deal great damage, but I prefer Crownless since it buffs Danjin's Havoc damage right after it is used. If you like echo swapping or you run Havoc Rover, Dreamless may be a better choice, as you can't really cancel that well with Crownless, swap cancel, and Havoc Rover buffs Dreamless damage after she uses her ult. So there are two setups you can choose to run. You can run a 4-3-3-1-1 setup, or a 4-4-1-1-1 setup, which I'm using here. So for more casual players who do not have time to farm for the best in-slot 3 costs, because those are really hard to farm, it is extremely RNG and time consuming, I highly recommend running a 4-4-1-1-1 setup like I'm doing here. This means using both Crownless and Dreamless 4-cost echoes, one with crit rate main stat, and the other one with crit damage main stat. This is because 4-cost echoes have extremely low variance when they drop, as you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting a crit rate or crit damage substat, I mean main stat from either of these bosses when they drop an echo. The last 3 echoes in this setup, the 1-cost ones, should all have attack percent main stat, also with a Havoc set. So we have a 5 Havoc set, 3 attack percent main stats, and 1 crit rate and 1 crit damage main stat with this 4-4-1-1-1 setup. For substats, you should look for crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, flat attack, and heavy attack damage bonus as the main priorities, as those boost the damage of Danjin the most. Also, make sure you don't have any duplicate echoes, because they'll lose a set effect bonus if you have any extra dupes beyond the first. I see I already have a Roshroom here equipped. If I try and change this into another Roshroom, I'll lose a set effect bonus because I already have one equipped. Now, if you've been farming hard for 3-cost elite echoes since the game's release, you may have a full best in slot set with the 4-3-3-1-1 setup, which is the best setup for Danjin. This requires 1 of Crownless or Dreamless with a crit rate or crit damage as the main 4-cost echo, 2 1-cost Havoc set echoes with attack percent main stat, and 2 3-cost echoes with both a main stat of Havoc damage bonus and a Havoc set together, which is really hard to get. These are Danjin's best in-slot 3-cost echoes. To filter for these, you switch to the top filter to the Havoc set, you click on this one, and the bottom filter, set to sort by rarity, and select Havoc damage plus main stat. This should automatically bring your any Havoc damage bonus and your Havoc set duos to the top, like this. I only have 2 of these, so I don't actually have a main set, a full set, because I only have 2 dupes, so it won't count as a set. So I'm just using this as a filler. Like, it has aero damage bonus. You don't want this, you want Havoc damage bonus here. So your top few echoes after applying the filters should have your right ones, but if you don't have any, then yeah, bad luck. Now that I've covered Danjin's best echo set, let's go on to some alternatives. So this one is a 2 Havoc set plus a 2 attack set, and the last one can be of any set because it doesn't matter. To filter for the attack set, just set the top filter to Lingering Tunes, which is the attack set, and this is a 4-4-1-1-1 setup. And your main echo should still be either Crownless or Dreamless. I have Dreamless here because I have a crit rate Dreamless here and a Mech Abomination with a crit damage. So if you do a 4-4 set, remember you always want to have crit damage and crit rate on the 2 4-cost echoes. So as long as you have a 4-cost with Dreamless or Crownless as the main one with a crit rate or crit damage, you can mix and match the rest. Like, there's one example here with the crit damage here, and then we have 3 attacks. We always want the 3 attacks on the 1 costs. You can even keep the previous 2 Havoc here with the Dreamless and Crownless, but you have to make up for it by having the attack sets in the 1 costs. So here you want to replace one of the Havocs because we don't have a full attack set yet. So we swap to the attack set filter, and then we swap the bottom filter to rarity and attack percent main stat. We look for any. We only have 1 here, which I have already equipped. So as an example, okay, swap to the 1-cost filter up here as well, sorry. And just get any, like this, ideally there's attack percent, but since I don't have any as an example, I'm just going to equip it. And now we have the 2 attack set bonus and the 2 Havoc set bonus. Now for a 4-3-3-1-1 setup, so we still keep the Crownless or Dreamless main stat, main echo here with the crit damage or crit rate. then we can mix and match some of these. So let's pretend that this is an attack set with Havoc damage bonus, because that's what you want. I don't have any, so I'm using this as an example. And you could do 2 of these that are different with the Havoc damage main stat, or you could even swap this one back to a Havoc set with a Havoc main damage bonus. So this still works because I also have another 1 cost attack set here. So we still have the two sets of Havoc and attack still. So this is the kind of stuff I mean by mix and match, because there's several possibilities depending on what echoes you've managed to drop. Now the last alternative set option is a full 5 attack set. Note that we cannot use Crownless or Dreamless here because they are fixed to the Havoc set, so we won't be able to get the full 5 attack set if we use Crownless or Dreamless. Also, we cannot use a 4-4-1-1-1 setup because there is only one 4-cost attack set, which is the mech. So if we use 2 mechs, we won't be able to get the 5 set bonus. So we have to use 4-3-3-1-1 setup. Therefore, for this set to be worth using, ideally you have, for the 3 costs, you have the attack set plus the Havoc damage bonus and another different unit with the attack set and the Havoc damage bonus here. And 2 for the 1 costs, have them with attack percent with the attack set, obviously. And as for the main echo in this 5 attack set setup, you really only have 3 options, which is your 4 cost mech, and depending on which 3 stars you manage to get, 3 costs you manage to get with the correct main stats, you can use either of those, whichever ones you prefer. And now let's finally move on to the weapons. And of course, the best weapon by far is the 5-star Emerald of Genesis sword. Only max syntonized 4-star weapons can compete with this. Now let's compare the base 4-star weapons. They all perform at a similar level, except the sword with energy regen. This one does very low damage, don't use this. All of them perform at about 80% of the level of the 5-star weapon, so you should just use your highest syntonized 4-star weapon, as it will perform the best. There are 4 options for swords for 4 stars. There's the Commander of Conviction, which is a gacha weapon. There's also the Lunar Cutter, which is also a gacha weapon. Then there is the Lumen Gloss, which can only be obtained from the Battle Pass. And lastly, there is the Sword number 18, which can only be crafted from the crafting station in this area on the map. So teleport to this waypoint and go to the crafting station. There are, however, a few situations where some of the swords may have an edge over the others. For example, if you play mainly solo Danjin and you rarely swap to other characters, in this case, Lumen Gloss, the Battle Pass sword, will outperform the other 4-star swords as the buff is basically permanent for Danjin, as she always spams her resonance skill. If you swap a lot to other characters based on their intro skills, however, Commander of Conviction, the 4-star gacha sword, is the best choice. If you swap a lot, but you don't care about timing it with the intro skills, then Lunar Cutter would be the best, as it does not require an intro skill to trigger its effect. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say about how to gear up Danjin and her weapon choices. I hope I was able to improve your Danjin in some way. Hopefully you learned more about gearing up with echoes in general, and I'll see you in the next one.